Dr. Magare Gikenyi is our guest. He's coming here today to explain to us why he's taking particular issue with this one. Dr. good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you back.
Rick, Mariam and Janet.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good pressure.
It's good to have you back.
Thanks a lot.
Mambo ya Gilgil iko aje?
Iko sawa. Sawa kabisa. I hope you started the year well.
Yes, we
Happy
did.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Yes.
Jano, do the thing.
I do the thing. The quote today is by Amilcar Cabral. He said, "Don't confuse the reality you live in with the ideas in your head."
Okay. So I think what I can say, the meaning of that is that don't confuse the aspects and the reality you live in. I think they are trying to say, like, let us be realistic, and also I say, like, let us run your race to ensure there's a betterment of society. That's what I can understand from that aspect.
You always go back to betterment of society.
Yes.
Default.
Yes.
Fix it.
Someone who is rooted in something.
Yes, because if you realize, if you look on the bigger picture, if you see what's happening, you may live in what I can say a rotten society, but still, as a member of society, you need to work it out. You do what's right.
Okay.
They always say integrity is when you can do something which is right, even when somebody is not seeing you.
Yeah.
So those are the things which, because the principle of rightness, something is either right or not. Okay. There's no subjective rightness. So that's what I can say.
Right
Wow.
is right.
There is no subjective right. I would love to get into like a proper now philosophical.
But don't you think there's a bit of a segue to what he's, the petition,
Absolutely.
where there's like a right that he's like, this is wrong, and this was what I'm trying to correct.
Yes.
Principally wrong.
Yes.
There's a petition that is before court, and you'll take us through it. But I read the first part of it where you're saying this is a constitutional provision that actually creates offices and mandates these offices to represent government in any legal proceeding. Then you also come in and quote the Auditor General's report of 2023-2024, where the Auditor General questions the wisdom of using private legal advocates. In fact, the OAG held counties have a fully fledged litigation department and county attorneys. However, it's not clear why the counties defended their cases in court using external legal officers. This is not prudent use of public finances. This is not Dr. Magare Gikenyi. This is the Auditor General.
Yes.
The Controller of Budgets also, you've quoted her in this particular petition where you're saying, she has also previously also said the county government cumulatively incurred huge costs of payment of legal fees, with Nairobi County accounting for 21.39 billion, accounting for 73% of total county legal cost of the cumulative 38 counties. As at 30th June 2024, the outstanding legal fees due to private advocates firms were 25.42 billion shillings. That is 4.5% of the cumulative 47 county government budgets. It's 4.5% of the county budgets. This amount is significant, even excluding 11 county governments. So these two state officers, constitutionally created offices, are questioning this, and you're calling it the wisdom of it.
Yes.
But this happened earlier. Why did you decide to raise this issue now, Dr. Gikenyi?
Okay, normally I'm always on the lookout. For example, I always go through the Auditor General's report and the control budget reports. I think the two critical independent officers in Kenya. And if you realize the society we live in, even the constitution, it becomes just a paper. If it is there and we don't implement it or uphold part of it.
Right.
So who is supposed to uphold and protect the constitution? By virtue of Article 3 is every person. There's no specific person supposed to do the same. So I checked and I saw that we are losing a lot of money, especially on the legal fees.
Yeah.
Even in different social media and even the main channels, so the OAG has always been saying, why do we have these huge expenses? As we are aware, as a country, we have funds, public funds generally are scarce, generally.
Yeah.
They are not ubiquitous. They are just very scarce. And that's why, for example, we need to have prudent use of them so that at the end of the day, we can have enough funds to use for other aspects like infrastructure, education, health, for us and future generations. So then after having known that, then I looked at the provision of Article 156 of Article 7, which says essentially the office of the OAG can represent him herself or through state councils.
Right.
Then I always asked myself, why do we have this so-called external advocate? Let me start by discussing, I have no personal problem with the advocate or any profession, even the doctors, because I always say, a wrong is always a wrong. It doesn't matter who does it.
Right.
So that, for example, me and my surgeon, even if we had a situation where surgeons also have that arrangement, where, for example, we get employed as surgeons and doctors, then apart from employment, then we get another private doctors who also come in. They are paid at the exorbitant rates. That in itself does not make it right.
True.
It's still a wrong.
Yeah.
By virtue of a profession does not make it right. So that's why I always said a wrong is always a wrong.
And before you even go on,
Yes.
am I correct, or should we be giving you congratulations for your graduation?
Yes,
I am correct.
Yes, you are correct.
He graduated with a Bachelor of Laws in November last year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
you're on the way to now proper advocate.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Plus Daktari. Congrats, Doc.
Thanks for the congrats.
Yeah.
So I graduated
Well
on
done.
20th of
Nelson
November last
Harvey was
year.
calling him Gumbaru lawyer.
Yes.
Who was calling him Gumbarula?
Nelson Harvey.
Oh, Nelson.
But in life,
Well done, well
Yeah,
done.
me, I'm a humble person.
Yeah.
Whatever people calls me, you look at the bigger picture and life moves on. So
But
then
you're saying, that does not make it right.
Right. So then that's the issue of the national government. The county government, also what's called the County Government Act, which also employs the county attorney, county solicitor general, county legal counsel. They're also supposed to present the county government. In the unlikely event, even they have a space or they don't have capacity, they are allowed by virtue of Section 3 of the Office of the County Government Act to request for assistance from the Office of the Attorney General. So there's no gap.
Right.
For even independent officers, by virtue of Article 152 sub Article 1, they are allowed, the independent officers and the commission are supposed to employ, to recruit their own staff. So they can employ legal officers. The other public officers, like the parliament, the senate, and the other even state corporations, they have legal officers, which us Kenyans are paying. So then one asks, what's the wisdom of using all this, employing all these people? Having employed them, we put them in office.
Right.
Then when the case, and if you realize, if you do a very thorough scrutiny of these cases, it's not any case which is given to external lawyers. It's not any case, what you call the juicy ones in court.
Yeah.
Something which is something good.
Lucrative.
Lucrative, yes. That's when we will find we have external lawyers. And some of these cases, if you critically look at them, for example, like me and even there was analysis from the Office of the Attorney General. I have a report which they did internally. I have a friend there. They did internal assessment. They found that for every 100 cases, 8 of which are given to external lawyers, 8 of them are lost. So which is essentially for every 10 cases, 8 cases with the government used to external lawyers are lost.
Really?
Which essentially means we have a double tragedy as Kenyans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Number one, once you lose a case, you are supposed to pay the other lawyer the amount.
Yeah.
Then you're also supposed to pay your lawyer the amount,
Yeah.
the what they call the legal fees. Had we also employed, had we made use of the county attorneys, we would have what they call one loss.
Only one cost.
The other costs. So this one already we have employed them, so there's no costs.
Yeah.
But the other now we have double. So we were only able to win 2 cases out of the 10, which external lawyers were involved.
Do you know the statistics for in-house counsel and the number of cases they win?
Maybe I don't know specific, but maybe
Okay.
I would go and inquire about this.
So that we can compare as well.
Yeah. I was also going to ask what kind of cases. I'm trying to go, first of all, to, I don't know if the institutions were listed that are most sort of like guilty, so to speak,
Yes.
of hiring private lawyers. And then roughly, what kind of cases are these?
But of course, our majority also involved constitutional cases because, like me, I've involved almost my cases. I take a lot of time to research. And mostly, when I put a petition, I've researched a lot. I don't put just a petition. We research a lot before we file. So sometimes we have those cases. Sometimes we appear against the other side is from the external lawyers. I have no problem with that. Whatever they have is good. But my major issue is principle of prudent use of financial
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah.
Because if you realize, for example, in Kenya, if you check the pre-2010 constitution, where I can say there was no order. I can say there was chaos in the public service. People used to be paid an amount. You can find we are in the same level. Person A is getting 10 shillings. Person B, the same aspect, is getting 2 shillings. That's in the ratio. That's
Right.
so. But then in the Kenyans, in their wisdom, said we need to have what we call a fairness. They created what we call the Public Service Commission, and in addition to that, they also created a commission called SRC, what we call Salaries and Remuneration Commission.
Commission, yeah.
Their aim, in a nutshell, is to ensure what we call physical sustainability, that we were able as a country to have our compensation or the payment or remuneration of public officers or those people who are doing public service to have a fairly standard aspect. So like, for example, if I'm a professional, like me, I'm a consultant general surgeon, I want to make money from government. It's an arbitrary case. I will think twice. I can get the money from the government through 2 major ways. I can want to apply for a job in the public service.
Yeah.
So, but then I will be paid, that amount that will be paid will be dependent on the Salaries and Remuneration Commission.
Yeah. There's a cap.
There's a cap. For example, if I decide, me, I'm a surgeon, I want to make money from government. I say, I want to make 243 million. That's my target in my mind. I ask myself, how do I get this 243 million, even within a year?
Okay.
So I have 2 options. I would want to apply for a job, either for a county or a national government. Once they employ me, theoretically, I ask myself, can I get this 243 million? My answer is no.
No.
Because I will be regulated by SRC.
Yeah.
So what do? I move the second one. I say, where is a gap in the constitution? There's a gap at Article 227 on procurement of services. So what do? I go and talk with my friend who is a county attorney somewhere, my classmate. I say, what do? Let us do competitive recruitment of surgeons.
Okay.
Once I get on, and then I get paid 243 million. What essentially has happened? It means I've circumvented the SRC.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. If you read the Constitution very well, you don't need to be allowed to read. You just read it. It's written in plain English. Article 259, they say there must be what we call purposive interpretation of the Constitution. You cannot use one provision to like
Override
circumvent
another.
of the. They always say one provision assists the other.
Right.
There's Article 201 on prudent use of financial resources. There's Article 227 on procurement of services and goods. There's also Article 232 on public service. There's Article 230 on SRC. So if you look at these provisions, even Article 10 on good governance and equity and fairness, then it comes to one conclusion that number one, you can never circumvent so that your aim can be achieved. Because if you realize very well, they like
you may be following the letter of the law, but not the spirit.
Yes. Because even if you use the letter, the letters, the way they are written,
Yes.
if you and using the purposive interpretation of the Constitution, one provision does not override another.
Yeah.
Like, for example, this Article 2:1, there must be prudent use of financial resources.
Right. I hear you.
So prudent is just English name. There's nothing to do with you be allowed. You can even pick a dictionary and read.
I hear you, Daktari. Let me finish your thoughts then.
So then at the end of the day, what happened is that the legal profession, for example, they always say that because of this gap, so the so-called bigwigs, they get rewarded through the Article 227. That you can be procured. It doesn't matter that you have enough counter attorneys. And the reason behind it, they also quote Article 50. That every person has a right of legal representation, which I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. But the irony with it is just one. As a public institution, you advertise. Later, I want to employ, let's say, 50 county attorneys. 1,000 apply. Then you shortlist. Theoretically, you pick the best, which will sort out your issues. You employ them, you give them letters, they start working. Then when a matter comes, I say, oh, no, these people have employed. They don't have expertise.
I was just about to go into the
They don't have expertise.
capacity.
They don't have expertise.
Is it that? Is it expertise or is it capacity? Because
yeah.
I think what would be crucial to understand in your petition, and that's why I started asking you why now.
Yes.
But also what you're implying here is you're implying there's improper motive by the procuring entities.
Yes, that's true.
That they are, using provisions of the law to hide behind a scheme that is directly intended to get money from the public coffers. Now, is there any evidence that actually adds to this? That shows us that, one, the entities that end up getting procured are favored, that they do not go through proper procedure of identifying them. There's a law on that, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act. And we know very many entities always start the year by saying we advertise for pre-qualification of certain service providers, including legal services. Right? So companies, legal law firms also apply. They are pre-qualified. When they're now coming to issue, they tell these ones that have been pre-qualified bid for this particular job. They bid, they are selected. Are you saying that from your research, because you say you've done a lot of research, you have found an overwhelming amount of circumventing of this process?
The answer is yes. Let me tell you how. For example, it's an undeniable fact there are almost 1,000 plus state councils in the Office of the Attorney General. Nobody has controverted that fact. And I've seen there are what you can call sharp minds. They are I've dealt with them, those state councils. Even the argument, when you can feel it, you can feel they are very sharp. There is an accountant called Emmanuel Bitter. He's very sharp. There's another called Odiwol Kaumba, very sharp. Ogos, among others. So that's a fact that there are enough state councils and county attorneys. Then number two is another fact that a certain firm was awarded 243 million for doing one case. It's even the public domain. The name, you will check it, you will know later. But there's a firm, just one case, get 243 million. That's a quarter a billion. So if you were to count those are for one case. Prima facie, even looking at it, even if you were to hire competitively a president, you would not pay him 243 million. Because the Kenyan president gets paid around 2.53 million per month. So if you were to assume in 12 months, that's close to 30 million or thereabout. So that in itself, you don't need an evidence. And also there's another fact. For example, in Nairobi County, there is a way they say that they are overwhelmed. They don't have capacity. They have only 17 county attorneys against 1,100 cases. That might be true. And in their view, they don't have money to hire the councils, and also they can be overwhelmed. But the same county which does not have money to hire county attorneys, they can afford 21.3 billion to hire external lawyers. You see that they're behind it.
I see the irony. Except of the long list of pending bills that counties have, legal fees are a huge one. So they do take on these bills, but they don't pay them. Nairobi County specifically owes a ridiculous amount, I can't even remember, in pending bills to lawyers.
They negotiated them, they went through it, they vetted, they announced that it's about, it's less than that. But I can see,
I see the thought process, but they're not paying the bills.
I'm just not getting have you questioned, for example, this particular case where this entity had to go and procure the justification internally? Because you see, there has to be some minutes there that decide we have to go and seek extra counsel. They can't, unless you're telling me that the county attorney just decided unilaterally, I am going to look for extra counsel, and there's no documentation at all to justify the process for deciding to go for extra counsel. And then the particular case and the weight of the case versus the legal fee. Are they commensurate? Is it 240 million shillings for a case that was for 50 million?
Right.
Or is it for a case that was for 5 billion
or something?
Or 50 billion?
Yes, the argument I'm trying to put across, for example, among others, is like, number one, even if you were to look at prima facie,
it doesn't make sense.
that you can pay one entity 0.4 billion.
Yeah.
Are you seeing that aspect?
Yeah.
Not even they have written in that letter.
Daktari Wakili? Kidogo.
We
take a break.
Okay.
And I'm wondering whether he's questioning the justification or whether it's not justified.
Yeah,
let's-
he's questioning the justification.
Yeah.
And I'm questioning the reason behind
Why
this
he's
particular
questioning
questioning.
that.
I mean, are you,
Yep.
because you are raising an issue of justify this.
Yes.
And I want you to show me that you looked at it and it's not justified.
Okay. So yeah, please hold your thought because we're coming back after the break.
Yes.
Petition over hiring of private lawyers. We have said petitioner, Dr. Magare Gikenyi, a doctor and activist. We'll come back after the break and continue the conversation.
400. We're about to get back in conversation with Dr. Magare Gikenyi, but just before that, some feedback.
Absolutely. So Francis Mo, Daktari stroke Wakili, can you paint a picture of a normal day for you? Like, what percentage do you allocate for medical and litigation? When we first hosted him, he did walk us through that. Maybe if we have time before the end of the interview, he could recap. No, that was about the KPC. So still, Mike the One says, we honor legal minds like those of Dr. Gikenyi, who stand as guardians of justice, choosing fairness over favor and equality over convenience. Asante, through principled reasoning and courage. Charles Ndungo, Dr. Gikenyi, keep up the good work. People have to be held accountable. State councils are underutilized so that private firms get government jobs. Fact, not fiction. Kenya being a kickback territory, it's fairly reasonable to say that this would greatly influence the need for private counsel by government institutions. And I think that's the question Eric was alluding to. Was it? That state councils are underutilized so that private firms...
The petition is basically, and Dr. Gikenyi's argument is that we have state council, like you've just told us, 100 officers in the state law office, but then we are hiring private entities. And I was asking, so as you bring this petition to court, in your argument before court, are you coming to show that indeed we have underutilized our capacity? Because the other side can come and argue that we have 100, but look at the number of cases we have. You've just given us the example of Nairobi City County. We have this number, but look at the number of legal cases that we have to deal with.
So I can say, yes, there's what you call underutilization. Because, for example, you say that, there's a way you say that even if they are incurring these huge bills, they have not been paid. Failure to pay a bill, on that fact alone, cannot remove your responsibility to pay. So still as Kenyans, the problem we think as counties, is it better to just think ni Kenya sisi tunatoa, tunalipa, because for 2 billion we will not carry the money and they give you, we use representatives. But in a nutshell, it's all of us who are paying.
Right.
So that's why we're saying, is there justification? Because if you remember, those people who were like reading the books, it's a book by Chinua Achebe. I think it's a Nigerian author. He said, as men have learned to shoot without missing the target, the birds have also learned to fly without perching. So what it means, when you say something, you look for ways of achieving your ambitions.
Yeah.
If you see, for example, SRC is giving us a problem, go to Article 227 on procurement. But they are still saying, as a society, we need to stand guard. Because if we don't, at the end of the day, like for example, if I was to win this petition, assuming for all practical, I was to win, I would not get even a bob. So what am I fighting for? Just for fairness of society. That's all. I have now personal aspect. If you realize me, as I told you last time, me, I'm among what I can call myself a middle level, or what you call, we are not among the high class, we are the middle class. So I told you last time, a society has 3 major groups. The low class, we did, wakiamka usiku, the first thing is food. The high class, their work is to amalgamate wealth. Then the middle class, me and you. And among the middle class, we have 2 more groups. Those who just want status quo, bola kiamanda kazi, anarudi, that's okay.
Yeah.
Then there's those people of us who try to make a society a better place than we found it. That's why, for example, even us, for example, in like last time, there's even a member of the LSK who came and said that even the medics will also ask for locums. The answer is yes. I don't disagree. When there's some aspect, we get locums. but there's a rider to that. Under the Public Service Commission, you have to get, at a common locum, you have to get them competitively. That's number one. And when they come, you have to pay them at the public service rates. You cannot come from the private, ukuje ufanye kama daktari, ulipe kama government. Like in the medical field, we have what you call KMPDC rate, Kenya Medical Practice and Dentist Council rates. For example, we have cancer of the pancreas, the head of pancreas, we can do surgery which we call WIPOS procedure. WIPOS procedure in the KMPDC rates, we are supposed to pay 500,000 in the private. But if, for example, I'm a private person and I come to assist the government, I'll be paid as a public servant. At that point, I'm there.
Right.
But in the legal profession, it's different. Partially, I think because they make statutes, they make constitution, they do. So the challenge we have is that in the private sector, there's what they call remuneration order. It pays what they call advocate, they are called RO, Advocate Remuneration Order, which is created by Section 41 and 45 of the Advocate Act, number 16. So what that order says, that when you're in private, we can discuss with you, me and an advocate, we agree how much we are paid, we use what you call distraction fee. I would compare the amount I charge, it depends on complexity and other issues.
Okay.
You can agree, if you are willing, you can pay me 100 million, that's okay. But then when we come to government, they still apply the same. That if you get a case, you charge, you decide. In public service, if you get the public service, how much you get is controlled. By the Public Service Commission, SRC, among others. But in the legal profession, when they come from the private to do public work, what happens, they decide how to charge based on, among two issues, on the complexity of the case and other circumstances of the case.
Other circumstances.
So what that one means, I can do a case, and I think I'm the one deciding. So this complexity and other circumstances, this one I need 200 million, and you get paid. Is that aspect?
It is very problematic. You're right, and I see. But I'm wondering from the complexity, when you said that thing, they charge according to the complexity of the case. And you've talked about the capacity issue, right? And I would love also to hear from state councils, from the Attorney General's office on this. Sometimes, you're saying even when there's no capacity internally, you do have the Attorney General's office as a fallback. For example, as a county, you can look to the Attorney General's office and get some help. However, are there situations, because I'm assuming state councils cannot be experts at everything, are there situations, for example, you said a lot of your litigations are constitutional law. Someone might be dealing with a matter of intellectual property, which is something that, specialized. Someone might be dealing with, I don't know, digital law, all of those. What happens in those cases? Because state council may not be proficient enough to do the work.
What I can say, yes, that a scenario can arise. But if you look carefully, the architecture of public service, now let's say public service, any person who is doing a service for the public, you can get employed. Employment has many connotations. You can have permanent and pensionable employment. You can have contract employment. You can have even temporary employment. So if we need an expertise, we can employ that person temporarily. Temporarily can even be 1 hour. But the challenge we have, you have to pay him at that rate as a public servant. So that the hallmark of why we introduced the issue of public service, SRC, gets maintained. So that if you want, for example, the way we've said those aspects, critical aspects, we can employ him, what I can call temporarily, to sort out that issue. There was someone saying that, for example, they give an example of IBC. That during election we get 500 petitions which cannot be handled by
IBC lawyers.
Which is partially true. But failure to plan is plan to fail. You plan, for example, and I'm very sure you can even know there will be a petition over elections. As an IBC, you plan. I know I will get this one. I will have 1,000 from the history. They can learn from I will have about 500 petitions. You employ legal counsels temporarily because during that search, once the temporary part has been sorted out, then you come back to the main one. But the failure to plan cannot justify imprudent use of financial resources.
However, that's a good suggestion that you're giving.
Yes.
But it cannot be the only one. I mean, one of the things would be, you can temporarily hire people on contract, and people will always have issues like, okay, so you went and sought a very qualified advocate called Somane, who is senior,
senior
guys, Harvard, double Princeton, and then you come and hire him temporarily to cover this.
And at government rate.
At public service rate. The guy will refuse. And he has the expertise on election petitions. On the other hand, there's now the issue of public procurement, where you're actually procuring this service from a law firm that will have that expertise plus others on it. It's also temporary. It's a contract.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's come and take over this contract to handle the election petition. The end. After the petition is over, the contract is over.
But that's what I'm saying. I've started by saying a constitution should be read wholesomely. You cannot pick a constitutional provision and you run with it. For example, I want to hire the way you have said. Then pick that one aspect. You also need to read Article 201. You also need to read Article 203 on how public services are run. You need also to run Article 230, that the physical compensation or remuneration to be physically manageable or sustainable. For example, the example you have given, if he charges us 243 million, another person charges us 500 million, another one charges ABCD, how much money will remain for infrastructure? Our children need to go to school. Whereas the election is important, our children also need to go to school. Our roads need to be built.
I hear you, but then we're also operating now in a real world where these services cost money. And again, and Eric is right. If I am, for example, a constitutional lawyer, I've done several election petitions, etc. It's very unlikely that I will bring my expertise or my law firm to come work for government at SRC rates. It's wishful thinking.
You will lose the petitions.
I agree, but my issue is that then let us change the constitution. Remove the Article 201 that there's no need of prudent use of financial resources. Because let me tell you what what I can call the hallmark. What will happen? This case, I know how it will go. I'm very sure whatever the outcome, it will reach at the Court of Appeal, not the Supreme Court.
Okay.
In one or another, my petition will be upheld. Or on the other hand, it will be dismissed. That's the only two options. So what would that one mean? The Supreme Court indirectly makes the law when there's gaps. By virtue of Article 163 sub Article 7, that the pronouncement of the Supreme Court essentially becomes the law. So if, for example, the Supreme Court was to say, the advocates are okay, they are well procured. Even if you employ 1,000 advocates, you can also procure 1,000 ones. Money notwithstanding, after pesa later. That becomes the law. All professions like us medics, they are private doctors, wengi sana, in this private, and we charge a lot. Tutapata leeway. Union tunachangamkia your aspect. All private doctors wataingia. Because the Supreme Court imesema pesa itumike. You see the aspect? Engineers will come. Supreme Court imesema hata ukiemploy engineers, tumia pesa. If you employ architects, tumia pesa. Pesa si shida. At the end of the day, it will the SRC aspect will lose the meaning. But why are we saying that? And I keep saying, as a society, we will lose it. Because we spend all our money on what I can call recurrent expenditure, then development fails. And I've said sometimes that aspect I gave you about Chinua Achebe, if we try to circumvent aspect, we will lose it. For example, this, what I'm trying to say, this IPO, Kenya Pipeline. If you see very well, they are trying to circumvent through the IMF. The National Infrastructure Fund, which also questions in the court, the same. But the hallmark of what I'm trying to put across, and I still to insist, I have no personal problem with advocates. But I have anybody, including us doctors, if we circumvent the law for a set of enrichment for now, what will it have? We will lose it for now and the future generations.
Let me ask you,
Yes.
you're talking, this one is particularly on this case around hiring private lawyers.
Yes.
Is this something you're also hoping to see set a precedent for how state legal services are procured and managed? Have you observed,
That-
outside of legal, any other institutions or what do you call them, professions,
Yes.
which are also playing him Chezoa Town that you're petitioning? Have you observed anything?
I have observed, but the majority of it, I can say, is the legal profession. The reason being, I suspect, because they are essentially they are involved essentially in everywhere where the laws, constitution is made. So they have a statute. But if you realize per se, hiring, even temporary hiring of other profession is not bad. But the legal one, you hire them, but they use their rate. That's I using my argument.
Yeah.
Me as a doctor, I'm in the medical. Now I'm almost 20 years plus in the. When you, as a doctor, if you are hired temporarily, even for a day, you will never be allowed to use the KMPDC rates. Like for example, if I want to do one as a private, assuming I'm a private surgeon, I go do a surgery in KNH for Whipple's procedure, which is supposed to charge around 300,000. KNH would never pay you 300,000. It will pay you as per the public rates. That's why, for example, kama mimi nikifanya, even those cases, hata kama ni, unajua they will charge you kama ni per day. Kama umekuja for a day, or they say half, you come for 15 days, they will charge a surgeon on this one. They will put a job queue. Supposed to earn, let's say, 300,000. He has come for 15 days. You will get 150,000. So among the grounds, among others, is that aspect of the rate which is used.
The advocate's remuneration versus the salaries and remuneration. Commission.
Tricky one.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, because you're talking about the remuneration order, and the lawyers, when they were responding to this publicly the other day, they quoted that and they said, you know what, we follow due process even in offering the services that we offer. I want to read a part of the statement from the Law Society of Kenya last week, where they said that private practitioners handle matters from which conflict of interest may arise on the part of government-employed advocates. That's number one. They offer independent expertise on governance structures and issues. They mitigate workload excesses that would create backlogs and non-compliance, and ensure that the state remains compliant with strict constitutional and procedural timelines without the risk of abandoning service delivery to the public. So they're coming to basically complement the government in delivering service.
But
that's what they say. Then on legal fees, the LSK says, legal fees payable to advocates are neither illusory or legally indeterminate. Calculation of legal fees is a statutorily regulated mathematical process that is both traceable in law and subject to good faith negotiations with an assessment by the relevant public entities. In any event where fees are indeterminate or no consensus is arrived upon, the same are subject to taxation by the courts, a process well anchored in law. It's therefore untenable to suspend legal services altogether in the name of capping expenditure on legal fees. It says there's a process. One, there's the order.
Yes.
Two, there is a negotiation. And three, even if we don't determine, the court will determine this is how much.
So they have said very well. There's a difference between the law and the constitution. They are talking about the law, which is a statute. A statute under the hierarchy of laws is below the constitution. That's even you can ask them, between the constitution and statute, which one is more superior?
Which is superior?
Advocate Remuneration Act is inferior to the constitution. Whatever they are quoting is a statute of law. A statute can never override constitution aspect. They are saying even that these fees are done by even what you call the deputy registrar, their taxation. I agree with that. The deputy registrar taxes based on a statute. And exactly that's what we are going against. That the statute, they have to take the statute, and as far as it is be applied in the public, reading Article 201, 230, 232, Article 10, if you read the Holy Assembly, then that statute is unconstitutional. it's not bad for the private lawyers. I have no problem with it because it's your money. For example, Maria, maybe you decide to, as a lawyer, pay me $1 billion. I have no problem. It's your money.
Yeah.
But we are worrying about this money. This money is me and you and the others
public money.
who have contributed to put it in a pool.
Is it prudent?
When you get, for example, in Nairobi, where we have 4 lawyers earning 6.4 billion. In Nairobi, there's another lawyer, which you are aware, earns 1.4 billion, not million, billion. Then at this rate, we will not have money to spend for the roads. And get me right, this petition is not about capping of legal fees. Someone who has been worked that needs to be paid.
Yeah.
But number one is the issue of how these lawyers, when they come in the government, how they're paid. Then, because let me tell you, even if we were to assume is to hire them, at the time they are serving the public, they are doing public service. At that time, that short time, they are doing a public service. So that, in physics, we used to call it a time T. At that time T, they are doing whatever for the public, they are doing public service.
Yeah.
So it's expected at that time T, then the remuneration should be based as a public
service rate.
Yes.
Quick question.
Yes.
Facts are stubborn things, guys.
Facts are stubborn things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does this petition affect in any way pending legal fees? Because I think there's about, Nairobi County alone is 21.3. Yes, they negotiated down to 18. There's about 39 billion in pending legal fees from county and national government.
The answer is yes. If you read a case of Supreme Court on there's a land in the beach here, Mzemoi, I think they said when the primary title has no basis, then subsequent aspect has no basis. The same thing under the Constitution, anything which is null, you cannot put any obligation, contract on it, as no obligation, as no duties, as nothing. For example, if you do something wrong, you cannot say that, and it's against the Constitution and the law, even in the future, you cannot say, no, by the time we were doing, I thought it was right. At the time it's declared an illegality, then anything around this has no basis.
So this is, okay, I'm trying to understand.
Yes.
Laws, this is not a new law, it's not, there's nothing new here, but you can't apply a law retrogressively.
Retrospectively.
Retrospectively.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, that one. Okay. Is that the same for now? A petition when it's determined like this, because essentially all these people who have 39 billion shillings worth of legal fees pending with national and county government, was it their fault that they were engaging in something unconstitutional? Did they know? And is it right that they also now don't get paid?
I'm saying, number one, I have no personal problem with them. I'm just thinking about the law. We agree the law should not be used retrospectively.
Yeah.
So if you make a law today, you cannot apply backwards.
Yes.
But the Constitution is supreme law of the land. If a law is made, then it is found later that law was a wrong law, was unconstitutional, then you cannot base any argument, any duties, obligation on an unconstitutional provision. Because they say, unless you want to say the Constitution is not a supreme law of the land. The Constitution, by virtue of Article 2, sub-Article 4, says, I am the supreme, they always say, that you read the Constitution like it is talking, like it's a person. I am the supreme law of the land. So that's why, for example, you can never move to court to find a constitutional provision to be unconstitutional. Anything, even a comma within a constitution is a supreme comma.
It's a supreme
comma.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying as a society. If we look critically, the way I view it, let us not look at these issues about a person. Me, I will not be there. 100 years from now, will not be there. But ask ourselves. Because I always say, it's a very good conversation. Let us ask Kenyan, all of us Kenyans have a national conversation. Without emotions. We sit down, we see, are we doing things good?
Are we doing things right?
If we are not, then we need to change to make our society a better place than we found it.
Very good.
Okay, that's a good place to end it.
Yes.
Just with some feedback as we transition into the next conversation.
Yes.
Good job, Surgeon. You're literally serving humanity. That's Kemeki I can't read it very well. Abraham, I think. Francis Mo, thanks, Daktari Wakili, for fighting for the public. Always good to see. Always good to take law as a second degree. It's nice to have. I think you're one of those people who is very stubborn about the Constitution. I think a lot of Kenyans are. Now, on the other side of the field, which the front page of the Daily Nation will tell you, about executive impunity, I think is now the enemy.
Yes.
But thank you so much. All the best, and we hope to have you back again.
Yes.
Next, we talk about income and wealth protection. We'll be speaking to Alex Mwangi, a finance consultant. For that conversation, we're back in just a moment.
Thanks.